Here is the glorious Day of Defeat source, and I would argue that it is well overdue that we have a remake of this game, and it's incredibly sad that there is nothing quite like this that you can play right now. And I really have to ask yourself the question, what on earth has happened to video games that this type of game has been forgotten? Now, before you guys start correcting me with your keyboards, I know you're already banging your keyboards on your foreheads, I know Hell Let Loose exists. I really like Hell Let Loose. I play it a lot. It's probably one of my favourite games at the moment. But Hell Let Loose, it is not Day of Defeat. I know Battlefield 1 exists. I know the new Battlefield games exist. But those games, they are not. They are not Day of Defeat. For a multitude of reasons, they are not Day of Defeat. And I'll tell you what those reasons are. First of all, Hell Let Loose. The player movement is rather clunky in Hell Let Loose. It tries to be a bit of a Simcade almost title. And as a result, you can't move around as quickly, you can't aim as quickly, you can't play the game as quickly. Also, the maps in Hell Let Loose are the size, literally, of a real battlefield, meaning that Hell Let Loose contains more jogging than it does tactical action and tactical gameplay. Again, I actually really love Hell Let Loose. It's probably one of my favourite hedge and grass simulators ever made. So, you know, it is what it is. I play it a hell of a lot, but it is not. It is not Dodd. It does not really... I'm getting a rocket in the face. It does not really tickle the Dodd itch. It tries to be a bit too realistic, though. I really like it, the gun mechanics. Battlefield. Battlefield doesn't have as wellly tight designed maps. The maps in Battlefield are a bit of a cluster. The older Battlefield games, absolutely fantastic. Battlefield 1942, Battlefield 2, Project Reality mod for Battlefield 2, they were absolutely superb. They actually did have fantastic design maps. But the more recent Battlefield games, the maps are a total cluster, and even more importantly, the spawning is a total cluster. So you don't have a very well-structured game. It plays like Call of Duty. You run around like a lunatic. Your squad mates spawn on you. It's basically, you just play like an absolute lunatic. It's like you're playing Quake, but in a battlefield. You don't really have the same sort of strategic positional tactics that you get from this title. Day of Defeat particularly gets the balance right between action, tactics, position and team play, and crucially it lets you get that jump in gameplay as well. You don't have to be walking around so much. You really can get straight into it. And in its prime as well, and this is what's really weird, talk about this a bit later in the video, but in its prime, playing this as a clan and in serious games, it's so well organised and so fun trying to actually get your team to capture the map and then deciding what you're going to push towards, what you're going to attack together, holding cover, using the different weapons. Fortunately, these guys are blind and deaf. Oh, no, they're not. There's a grenade. This game can be super, super tactical and super responsive, much closer to something like Counter-Strike. I know you can have tactics in Battlefield games and Hell Let Loose, but it's really not to the fidelity that's possible with this. Which begs the question, given how good Day of Defeat source is and how good Dodd was, if you're to believe me, guys, what on earth happened to Dodd? Why did it die out? Why did no one really play it anymore? And I would say, I actually think it's entirely down to the fact that they never had built-in ranked matchmaking to it, whereas you got that with Counter-Strike Go, and then CS2 obviously is a continuation of Counter-Strike Go, because when I played Dodd, and we used to play as I say, we'd play it in leagues and stuff with 6 or 7 people on a side. It was absolutely fantastic. Tournament.com as well, which I think was 5 a side. absolutely superb. If you don't remember tournament.com, let me know if you do remember tournament.com in the comments. There's probably only 2 people in the world that remember it. Basically, tournament.com was DOD and Counter-Strike, but you paid 50p to join the game, and then if you won the other team's money. As a result, everyone was playing it really, really seriously, and you would end up with some of the most intense games of Counter-Strike and DOD for outside of pro esports scene. But in that context, this game was absolutely superb, and the smaller maps, smaller teams mean that you can play this much more tactically and much more responsively than a game like Battlefield or even a game like Hell Let Loose. Though I know you can play those games seriously as a team, but this was really the perfect balance and sort of similar to Counter-Strike type play of teamwork and tight-knit movement, but in a different context with weapons. Oh, hello! I just got team killed or something. I don't know what happened there. I know, someone else stopped me. This was a really interesting, different take on that kind of tight-knit, almost Counter-Strike gameplay. So, without that ranking, what happened is that you ended up with lots of mod servers, which were great fun, and this type of public gameplay with loads of people on the sides is great fun, but it can get a bit grindy and can just feel a bit aimless over time, and it doesn't really have the hook and the addiction that you get with rating and ranking-based systems. And then obviously games like Battlefield ended up appealing more to the casuals, and this has sort of died out. But I think you guys would agree with me. We are well overdue having a new DOD game with some sort of like ranked multiplayer built into it. And I think it would be absolutely superb. It's such a shame, I feel like, that games have sort of regressed. I mean, I bring up Battlefield quite a lot when we're doing live streams. Go subscribe and click the like button so you catch us when we live stream. We bring up Battlefield a lot. It's just, I feel like even Battlefield 1942 and the vibe of Battlefield 1942, which was actually quite similar to DOD, but just bigger maps, even that has been lost. Like, those have just turned into sort of Call of Duty spam fest, and now the sort of popular game is your PUBG type scenario or your Fortnite Battle Royale scenario. Which I actually think Battle Royale is a really good game mode, but I think it's lacking. The newer games just turn into a sort of spam fest type title. Like, they really lack strategy, and they really lack the emphasis of your direct teamwork, and there being a smaller number of players, so you as an individual really can have or feel like you have a big effect on the battlefield. And you just don't have the pressure in modern shooters to the same degree that you did when you play DOD in a clan or league setting. The only game at the moment that really captures that for me is CS2, 5v5. You're playing Premier ranking. You know, you try not to lose ranking, and there's some really high pressure situations there. That's about it, really. That's the only jump in, get into a game straight away with your friends, and have a somewhat league-like experience in the first-person shooter context with maps that are nicely designed. So yeah, I just think it's time. It is time. It's definitely time that we come back to this. Interestingly, I did feel, my personal view, controversial view here, as it may be, I think Dodge Source was even worse than the original Day of Defeat. And the weapons and the spray patterns were way more compelling and interesting in the first Day of Defeat, the original Half-Life mod, than Dodge Source. And interestingly, I also think the same thing actually happened with DOD that happened to Counter-Strike. The original Counter-Strike 1.3 up to like 1.6 was way more fun to play with the weapon spray and the movement and everything than Counter-Strike Source. And I really don't understand, you little git, I really don't understand why both DOD and Counter-Strike ended up moving to blander gun mechanics and more simplified movement and gameplay in many ways compared to the older games. You'd think it'd be the other way around. So that is just a really weird observation. But to counteract that, what I have noticed is that the actual gun sprays and gun mechanics in games like Hell Let Loose, and even some of the shooters like some of the newer other shooters on the market coming out now, they're actually closer to the original type of spray patterns and gun mechanics that you actually had in the original DOD. So maybe things are going to come full circle. Maybe we'll return back to original DOD glory. That's my hope. I don't think it will happen. Probably a bit too optimistic. But it's possible. Maybe things have to get bad before they can get good again. Though it's been like 20 or so years. Oh, let's not peek out with no gun. I can't aim. Can't aim. Can't aim. I am sure I'm shooting these people. Retreat. Let's go another way. Maybe we'll return back to this, but it's definitely time, guys, for a new DOD. Let me know in the comments section if you agree with me, if you are ready for this type of game. I mean, look at the map, though. Just absolutely love. I love that you have your spawn. There's areas to camp if you're an enemy. It's really fun to get to the enemy spawn area on these sorts of public servers and then try and camp it. And just to get through the map is a fun challenge. And then spawn camp like a rat. That's really fun to do. The middle part of the map with the area that you can then snipe through and use long-range weapons. Some of the flags needed 2 people. It's not too many people needed, but 2 people to hold it down. And you can then deploy your machine gun. You can cover stuff. Both sides of the map are slightly different, even though it is kind of like a mirrored map. I just really miss this, guys. I really want tight designed maps, nice solid gameplay, jumping gameplay combined with the ranked multiplayer. That is what I need. Right, let me know in the comments if I am a lunatic. You know I'm a bold git. You know I'm old. This video is not a sim racing video. We will have more sim racing stuff soon. Don't worry. But I thought I'd introduce those of you on here to an actual game that was great for those of you that missed it. But until the next one, guys, that is Day of Defeat. It needs to come back. It needs to come back. Thanks for watching. Happy tea drinking. Take care. And goodbye.